So this Yvonne Egypt, pretty good, maybe the best player in that conference, huh?
She is. Well, she was last year. I think she is this year. Becky Hammond, Player of the Year. So yeah, she's really talented on both ends of the court.
Is she, like, not having been able to watch any of their games, but is she a drive and attack, or is she a kind of a bruiser inside? What's her game?
Well, she can impact the game in a lot of ways. She can impact the game by shooting it. She can get to the rim. She offensive rebounds at a really high level. She impacts game defensively because she can get out and pressure. She can block shots at the rim. So she does a lot of things at a really high level for them.
And that freshman guard of theirs, I think she's like top 10 in the nation in three-point shooting.
Yeah, she's shooting at a really high level. And she's playing really good basketball.
Do you learn anything? I mean, they played Oregon State 3 times, I think. Do you learn a lot from those tapes?
Well, you have a common opponent, obviously, and they understand each other, and so you try to figure out what is it that they do well against each other. I think they split during the regular season, and then had a really close matchup in the conference tournament. So watch that and watch a couple of their other games. But I think they're a very disciplined, tough, gritty team. They play really hard. They rebound at a really high level on both ends of the court, move the ball well, defend well. They've got good size, so they're really, really good.
Pretty tested. That's a pretty good, strong conference too.
It is good, yeah. It is good, and it got stronger, I think, in adding some of the teams that they added. So, yeah, I think they're a program that's been good for a really long time, and they continue to play with great toughness and discipline.
How excited are you to be at home?
Yeah, it's great. It's great to be at home, and I think from our young lady standpoint, it's great because they can go to class and play and do those kind of things. I think from our fan base standpoint, hopefully we draw a great crowd tomorrow night and have a chance to play at home again. So really excited about that.
What value do you think your current team is now getting? I know last year you talked about in the WNIT,
Right.
some of that carried over. So how important maybe is this stretch for your team?
Well, I think it's invaluable, really, to play in the postseason where you have an opportunity. We had an opportunity the first 2 games to be on the road and to play against different styles, but also to be in challenging environments. And hopefully we can make our environment a good environment for our team tomorrow. And I think again to play against a team that is a little bit different than the teams we play against, but really, really good. They do things a little bit differently, but they're incredibly, incredibly tough. And I think that's the value you're playing against. And they went to Colorado and took care of business there. So you're playing against a team that really shoots it well, team that takes care of the ball, and team that really makes life really difficult. And I think in a lot of ways they win a lot of toughness battles. There's a loose ball, they come up with it, and when they come up with it, they usually kick it out and they hit shots, and and then they just make teams feel really uncomfortable.
You've talked a lot about the benefit to the team of
Right.
going through a process like this, but I'm thinking about like certain individuals that kind of take the opportunity to maybe take a step up. I think last year, I think Amaya had a huge benefit
Right.
from the way she played in the postseason. This year, it seems like Nia has kind of gotten herself to a point where she's making some pretty impactful
Right.
plays in the minutes she has. Can you just talk about maybe her having gone to a different level in recent games?
Well, I think she's finding a way to get more touches, and that's really important because she's an undersized kid inside. I thought in our last game, and I think she's doing a tremendous job for us. I thought in our last game we got huge minutes from Nia, from Ani, and from Alexia. I thought all 3 of them gave us a really big boost, and you certainly need that at any time, but in tournament time, you really need different players to step up. And then for Nia, she has an opportunity to continue to grow and develop. For Lexa and Ani, short of playing, after college, which I think they both would have an opportunity to do if they want to do that. They're building that stock. But for Nia, something that continue to build upon for the future for sure.
In that Toledo game, she was huge. I mean, she scored, I think, the first 4 points of that 11-0 run in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, Toledo kind of went to a different type of defensive look, and so we were able to get her the ball in a spot where she could do some damage kind of from the elbows and attack, and did a great job for us.
What if she give you that off the bench that maybe you don't get anywhere else?
Well, I think if you look at her first on the bench, what she does on the bench is great for us. I think she's a young lady with an incredible amount of energy and is always working to create that for her teammates. And so in the game, she adds, a level of athleticism, and then she has to use that in a way that really makes sense. Sometimes she tries to gamble and make some plays and trying to get her to just be solid and trust and use her athleticism in a way that doesn't, kind of extend and maybe give her opponent an advantage. And so she's learning how to trust that she can do that. She can make simple plays by trusting her athleticism level.
She's had to be pretty patient too. I mean, her first year she got hurt, and new coach second year,
Right.
kind of fighting for minutes. But it seems like she's always maintained a really positive attitude. I think maybe the happiest I've seen her all year is when Amaya went over 1,000 points that game. I mean, what does that say kind of about her as a teammate? Because that's got to be hard sometimes.
Oh, absolutely. Everybody can talk about wanting to do it for the team, but there's also a part that you also you put in time and you want to have a chance yourself as well. And again, that's why the first thing when you asked about Nia having a great stretch right now, I mean, I think because you do the right things, you hope that the right things work out for you too. And she's just a great teammate. I think she's just an incredible person and brings out the best in others. And what is the value in that? It doesn't show up in a stat sheet, but she provides she's an energy giver at all times, and there's a huge value to that.
This time of year when you're obviously immersed in preparing for the next game and you're in the middle of this tournament, the portal opens up, obviously you got to pay a lot of attention to that. How do you divide that how do you
amongst our staff,
accomplish
right?
both?
Yeah. Certainly from our staffing standpoint, we've got to find a way to do really well in both areas. And so, you prepare to be in a spot to do that. And so I think our staff is really doing a tremendous job of kind of dividing and conquering in all aspects of that right now. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
See you tomorrow.